G'day guys and gal, I'm about as nerdy as physically possible. I have done cosplays, I've played through Skyrim like 11 times, I've played every single Total War game, and I literally make all my money through talking about Warhammer 40k lore. Not to mention I literally commission lewd anime pictures for my patrons. I'm also pretty into jiu-jitsu, aka sweaty pajama wrestling. I've been doing it as a hobby for a number of years now, and I've realized that I'm actually not totally shit at it. I've competed in 3 tournaments, taking on 15 different opponents, and beat them all. I had never lost a single jiu-jitsu match in competition, even when I moved up to blue belt. So when I signed up for my latest competition, in which I agreed to fight 8 different opponents in one day across my own weight class and an open weight class, the pressure was on. Could I maintain my hot streak and cream all 8 opponents, or would my reign of glory finally come to an end? After all, one of my opponents was a 240-pound judo black belt. Today we will find out as I take you through the highlights of each match, explaining what is going on so you can watch me kick ass and get my ass kicked in equal measure. If you're interested in martial arts, then this will be great for you, and if you just want to see some fucking retarded Warhammer nerd throw down, then you're in for a treat. Now let's get into it. So the first 3 matches would be in the open weight class. This means my opponents could range from 130 pounds all the way to 260 and beyond pounds. Fortunately, my first opponent was a little dude. However, if anything, that makes him more scary. A man that chooses to fight against giants is a man that has something up his sleeve. I had been working on my stand-up for a few months in preparation for the comp, hence I led with my arm to dry bait a Russian Thai, so I was a bit bummed when he just pulled guard on me. I tried to counter by pushing one of his legs in between mine to set up a pass, but he managed to get the closed guard and ruin the fun. We grip fight for a time before I then hit him with a standing guard pass. In response, he releases the guard and throws in a De La Riva hook on my leg. If that sounds confusing, then yes, it is pretty confusing. When I'm feeling safe, I go for a backstep to try and get out of this shit, but old mate blocks me and just shuts it down without much ceremony. We reset in guard, which has quickly become my least favorite position as I go for another standing guard pass. I'm pretty sick of this shit, and he leaves his leg a bit exposed, so I throw it over and go to pass. Old mate does a good job of framing, but I'm still able to drive into him and keep out of his guard. This dude's like a spider though, and takes some serious effort to keep down. Just as I am starting to look good, we get reset from standing as we go out of bounds. Fuck me. I can't be stuffed going back into full guard, so as he pulls, I commit to one side and work my way on top. I can tell he's getting frustrated by the pressure and he rolls to his knees, giving me his back. At this point, I've got a huge point lead and I just want to play it safe. So every time I think he's going to escape, I back out first and retake position. Not the spiciest fight as time runs out. I win by a large margin of points. Winning your first match is pretty important. It gives you the confidence to carry into your next ones. If you are nervous or anxious, your adrenaline spikes really badly, and it makes it hard to focus or remember techniques. You'll see me make quite a few mistakes today because of all that adrenaline consuming my soul. Next fight gives us a 4-stripe blue belt, aka a guy on the cusp of becoming a purple belt who had just smashed his previous opponent. It also gives us a cheeky teaser of the terrifying 240-pound judo black belt that would be my toughest opponent of the day. I had a small strength and size advantage on enemy number 2, so I was hoping to play a similar top game as before, and just rely on my passing and side control to carry the day. Once again, I lead with the arm to bait the Russian Thai. However, this guy is also a guard puller. Really starting to think I should have spent time dealing with guard pullers and not just fancy Russian Thai takedowns. The 2-on-1 does disrupt his guard pull though, allowing me to land in half guard as well as getting a good underhook on his left arm, a strong passing position. However, I fuck up the pass, which gives him the chance to lock up a full guard, getting real deja vu vibes from the previous match. I once again go for the standing guard pass, but this dude is wicked strong with very good grips. He breaks me down and even gets my arm across my body, a huge fucking no-no for being in guard. You can't see it, but he goes for this cheeky fucking choke that I avoid. Eventually, I'm able to break out of his guard, but the man isn't giving up, playing a solid open guard to prevent the pass. Cheeky dog even tries to throw a triangle in, but I'm having none of it, and I get as erect as a pedo in a playground. Posture-wise, of course. I'm getting really sick of his shit, so I decide to throw finesse to the wind and scramble like the dipshit retard I am. The scrambling pays off, and I can tell the guy's getting tired from defending the pass for so long. Hence I end up in 3/4 mount, only a flick of a dick away from a dominant high scoring position. But fuck getting points, I get a good unhook on his arm and wrench his shoulder up his body, exposing it to hit a spicy Americana, my signature move, giving me my second win and putting me in the final round where I would fight for gold for the open weight class. However, as the rounds had been going, I had watched the 240-pound judo black belt absolutely annihilate all of his opponents, including another 230-pound judo black belt. So as I stepped onto the mat for my final battle for the open weight class, my fight or flight kicked in and my anxiety and adrenaline spiked. I heard a voice in my head telling me I couldn't do it and to just give up before it had started, but a louder voice said, "Fuck this shit. Go wrestle the judo black belt. You don't get into Valhalla from pulling guard." Hence I engaged with probably too much confidence, accidentally shoulder barging him in the face, which split his lip and nose. In response, he just smiles and drops me on my ass. Probably should have seen that one coming. We land straight in side control, exactly the one place I didn't want to be, especially against the guy that had like 60 pounds on me. I'll be honest, it was pretty grim. I employed all my frames, my years of experience, and off-basing to absolutely zero effect. I just wasn't going to get this guy off me, so I waited until he tried to pull on my arm to attack it before pulling back and creating my opening to get into half guard. However, that didn't change the fact that this dude was still multiple weight classes above me. I couldn't sweep or off-balance him. He was able to break through for the pass, so I roll over to turtle and then from there I go straight to hooks guard, giving myself a positional upgrade without giving him any points. However, once again I couldn't move this guy. I couldn't sweep him, especially with him locking my body down. It was like being dropped in the middle of the ocean and fighting against the currents pulling you under. I was drowning as he crushed my face into the mat, but I hadn't drowned yet. I waited until I felt his weight shift, then I bridged one way, then bridged the other, hitting him with a cheeky half guard sweep and getting on top for the first time in the match, tying up the score by getting 2 points. Then I just fucking went for it, hitting a clean knee slide pass to get to side control. I couldn't believe it. I was winning. However, I should have been more patient. I tried to rush into mount position, but the space I created let him throw me off like a rag doll. Fortunately, I'm able to scramble into half guard so he doesn't get any points, and then I work into a full guard. Once again though, I can't just hold him to stall for time, so he breaks through. However, a quick scramble lets me get on top, and his pants are coming off, causing a reset. There's no way I'm going to get thrown again, so I just say fuck Valhalla and pull guard. But the big man is able to blast through into mount, getting the 2 points for the pass, but I'm able to recover half guard before he can get any juicy mount points. From there, I once again half guard sweep him, giving me another 2 points and the lead, 7-5. There is only 40 seconds left on the clock. All I gotta do is survive. Easier said than done. Dude just fucking picks me up like I'm nothing and plops me on my ass, ending back in guard and giving him another 2 points to equalize the score. I get desperate looking for openings, submissions, sweeps, anything, but he doesn't want to go anywhere and the timer runs out. In this tournament, if it's a draw, the ref chooses who he thought did the best as the winner. I try to keep composed. Could this be it? Could I win the gold medal for the open weight class in blue belt? No, the ref awards the big man the win. He spent more time on top and was probably the more dominant fighter. It was a tough pill to swallow, but I'm proud of myself. Not the worst way to cop my first ever tournament loss with a silver medal. The big man was actually super lovely, and even said he thought I should have won it. He would go on to win 3 more divisions that day, cementing himself as the #1 blue belt in the entire competition. It was also his birthday, and we ended up adding each other on Facebook, so there you go, actually a pretty wholesome ending. But I wasn't done. I still had 5 more fights to go against some of the toughest blue belts in my city. I hadn't come out of the battle with the big man unscathed. My arms and legs were cramping pretty bad, and I was pretty lightheaded. I only had 30 minutes to rally before my next fight. Everyone from here on is roughly my weight, hence fight number 4 puts me against the guy my own size, and fuck me, another guard puller. We end up in half guard, where the guy's playing a solid half guard butterfly to keep me off balance and prevent the pass. It's called half butterfly as that leg hooking my thigh is called a butterfly hook. Since he only has one, it's a half. I get a bit too feisty, so he sweeps me over, getting a point lead. However, I end up in a pretty good position to set up a sneaky choke called a baseball bat choke. However, his coach spots it and ruins the fun.
What's the baseball bat? He has the baseball choke.
After some guard retentions, breaks, and good fun, we end up reset in the middle. He pulls guard on me again and then starts repeatedly going for a loop choke. He has a deep grip on my collar that I'm not going to break anytime soon, so instead I block his other arm from coming in, as you need both arms to finish the choke. As I get closer to pass, he keeps relentlessly throwing on these vicious loop chokes one after another. Every time I break free, he just puts on an even more brutal one. It makes it really hard to pass as I'm spending a lot of my focus on avoiding the choke, until he finally hits me with it solid and clean. It's on, and I tap. My first ever tapping competition. Not gonna lie, it wasn't a great feeling. The entire match I was playing catch up and eventually lost the race. I just didn't know a solid loop choke escape that I could use to punish his spamming of it. There was one, which my coach showed me after the fight, but I just wasn't aware of it at the time. Credit to this guy though, he was a loop choke demon. His next fight, he loop choked a guy so badly that the dude had a seizure, while the guy's team told me that he loop chokes everyone in their gym. As I said, you want to win the first match of your division as it gives you confidence in the next ones. So not a good start, but I still had a chance to get gold. I would just need to win the next 3 matches in a row, preferably by submission, and I could end up in the final 2 and a shot at first place. The next fight was another guard puller. I had plenty of time today to work on these, so I was able to counter his attacks, pass his guard, and use some of my cleaner techniques to end up on his back. I'm able to control him for the match, with his one moment of glory getting shut down by me slamming him on his ass. I had a solid point lead, he was exhausted, and I had demons whispering in my ears. I wasn't going to lose this one, and as the time ran out, I came out of it with a win by a large margin of points. The next fight was against the guy that had a seizure, so props to him from dusting himself off and getting back on the mat. Fortunately, he wasn't a guard puller, so I was able to hit one of the more slicker takedowns I had worked on, hooking his leg as I come up to keep control. I'm able to work my pass slowly and steadily, grabbing both his legs to free mine. As I go to pass, he grabs a Kimura grip, which he could then use to submit or sweep me, so I walk my legs around his head to come to the other side and then regain control over my arm. From here, I maintain control and then subtly set up an Americana. When I was ready, I rotated back to side control and finished it off, getting another submission win. That was 2 out of the 3 redemption matches done. All I needed to do was beat one more guy and I would be in the finals and another shot at gold. I could fucking do this. I get on the mat, exhausted but unbroken. The exhaustion is immediately obvious by me doing the most retarded attempt at a sacrifice throw that is humanly possible, immediately giving him a chance to pass. I'm able to prevent it though, and we end up in hooks, or butterfly guard as it's sometimes called, before getting reset. I could immediately tell this guy was athletic as fuck. That combined with my exhaustion meant that I probably didn't have a chance in the scrambles. As you can see, I was technically superior in the way I was able to sweep him over with a butterfly sweep. However, the following scramble went poorly and I ended up underneath his half guard. After some more patience and timing, I hit my half guard sweep and take the points lead. But this dude just seems to have infinite energy. He works his way out, forcing another scramble before we get reset, which then leads to another scramble and him getting a takedown on me to tie up the score. This next part is kinda weird, so if you're a jits nerd, please comment below. But I hit my butterfly sweep again and we come up, no points are given. But then we scramble and he sprawls on my shot, leading to half guard. He gets 2 points. I'm not really sure how that works. In the closing seconds, he's able to pass into mount and end up with a solid point victory. Fuck. This one was a killer. My gameplay wasn't very good. I tried to play scramble on a much more athletic, slippery and fresh opponent. In doing so, I lost the match and the chance to fight for gold. However, all was not lost. I had done well enough to qualify for the finals to fight for 3rd and 4th place in the division. I had qualified to rematch this guy, with the winner getting the bronze and the loser getting nothing. Fuck this shit. I was gonna win, goddammit. I go to my coach and I look him in the eyes. I didn't ask for advice or help. I know what needs to be done. I say, Coach, I'm going to pull guard on this motherfucker and triangle the ever-living shit out of them. Coach says nothing, then nods. Fuck Valhalla, I wanted that bronze medallion. I pull guard straight away as he brings his knee up to prevent me from locking it down properly. Thus I cannot yet go for the triangle. He even manages to work his way into a solid half guard. I can hear the doubts returning. Majorkill, you're gonna get stuck here and you're gonna lose. I banish the thoughts. As he goes to pass, I sweep the shit out of him, throwing him over and chasing him to his back. He tries to stand up to shake me off, but I lock down like a fucking parasite. This position is incredibly exhausting for him, supporting both our weights. As he weakens, I lock up a Kimura grip and use it to sweep him. Unfortunately, his slippery scramble powers are still there, so despite my domination, I wasn't able to properly control him and get points. After a scramble nearly takes out the scorer, we are reset standing up. This was it. He was tired and probably a bit surprised by how the match was going. I stand up with him and we battle, even nearly getting a throw on him before I then fuck up my second attempt. It didn't matter though. I had finally achieved a fully closed guard. I was finally in a position to triangle the shit out of this motherfucker. I latch it on, looking him in the eyes the entire time. He goes to his side to make the tiniest breathing room for him to stay in it. I tighten it even further, with even the ref getting concerned. I had to finish the fight here. If he escaped, he would probably pass me and take top position. You can't see it in the video, but with his head trapped, I basically start using both my arms and my thigh to try break his arm. In one last attempt, I get up on my elbow, creating a shitload of leverage. Then I hold up my body with my head as I push his forearm down on my thigh, creating enough pressure that he finally taps. If he didn't tap, his arm probably would have snapped within the next 2 or 3 seconds. This gives me the win and the bronze medal, 2 podium finishes in the one tournament. I know I have been talking a bit of shit in this commentary, but it was just for comedic effect. Every guy I versed that day was an absolute legend and warrior. Competing in jits is no joke. It's extremely intimidating and anxiety inducing. Everyone that gives it a go, win or lose, has a shitload of respect from me. You may be asking, why would I post this if it included a decent amount of losses and no gold medals? And that's because as I've grown up a bit from the 18-year-old cringe lord Majorkill to who I am today, I've realized that I do act as something of a role model. The amount of DMs I've gotten from you guys and gal talking about how you signed up to a gym or started fucking off unhealthy habits because of me is very humbling. I think I've seen a few dozen transformation pics, and it makes all of this so fucking worth it. A part of being that role model is that things don't always go to plan and I don't always win. And that is just as important to share as the glorious dubs. I know what I need to work on and I know what I need to do next time to get the gold. Hopefully this was as entertaining to watch as it was to put together. As always, massive thanks to my team at Academy Jiu-Jitsu in Melbourne. Best place to learn Jiu-Jitsu in my biased opinion, and if you come train here, then you'll get a chance to have a scrap with me. Peace.